It started on a rainy afternoon when Maya found the dusty old box in the attic. The rain pattered on the roof, each drop a rhythm that mirrored her growing curiosity. The box was small, made of dark wood, with intricate carvings of swirling patterns. It didn't seem like it belonged to her family's otherwise modern collection of things. "Maya, don't wander too far up there," her mom called from below. But Maya's attention was fixed on the box. She knelt down and blew the dust off. The lid creaked open to reveal a velvet pouch that shimmered in the dim light. Inside was a pen, simple, black, and unremarkable at first glance. Except it was floating an inch above the pouch. Maya blinked, convinced her eyes were playing tricks. "Am I dreaming?" she whispered, reaching out. The pen zipped out of the pouch and hovered in front of her face. Maya gasped, stumbling back as the pen wobbled in the air. It tilted, almost as if studying her, before darting forward. "Hey!" she cried, shielding her face instinctively. But the pen stopped inches away, twirling playfully. What are you?" Maya asked, her voice trembling. The pen spun in response, then pointed at a nearby stack of papers. It hovered expectantly, as if waiting for her to pick one up. Hesitant, Maya grabbed a sheet and placed it on the floor. The pen zipped to the paper, its tip touching down. Lines began forming, but Maya wasn't holding it. "Are you drawing something?" she asked, her curiosity overriding her fear. The pen sketched a word in loopy handwriting. "Hello." Maya's eyes widened. "You can, right?" The pen nodded well, sort of it bobbed up and down. She sat cross-legged on the floor, watching it scribble again. "My name is Quill. Nice to meet you." Maya laughed nervously. "Nice to meet you too, Quill. What are you?" Quill paused, as if pondering how to answer. Then it wrote, "A friend. And I have a gift. Want to see?" Despite herself, Maya nodded. The pen jumped to another paper, its movement swift and purposeful. Lines turned to shapes, shapes turned to images. Before her eyes, a tiny bird formed on the page. Maya reached out to touch it, but before she could, the bird lifted off the paper. It fluttered in the air, chirping softly, its feathers glowing faintly. Maya gasped, her hand flying to her mouth. This isn't possible." The bird landed on her shoulder, its warmth tangible. Quill wrote, "Anything I write can come to life, but only if the story is good." Maya's heart raced as the tiny bird perched on her shoulder. Its warmth and soft chirping felt too real to be a trick of her imagination. How do you do this?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Quill twirled smugly in the air, then wrote, "It's not how, it's why." "Why?" Maya repeated, puzzled. The pen scribbled again, its letters looping elegantly. "Stories have power. Good stories make things happen. I bring them to life." Maya frowned, her mind spinning. "So you're some kind of magic pen?" Quill doodled a little star on the paper, as if to say, "Exactly." She smiled, excitement bubbling inside her. "This is incredible. We could do anything with this." The pen's movement slowed, and it carefully wrote, "With great stories come great responsibility." Maya tilted her head. "What do you mean?" Quill paused, then wrote, "Not every story should come to life. Some stories are too dangerous." Maya blinked, the gravity of the statement sinking in. "But what happens if I write something I didn't mean to?" The pen hesitated, then wrote, "I'll help." But we must be careful. Maya nodded, understanding the weight of the gift she'd been given. She picked up another piece of paper, her mind already buzzing with ideas. Let's start with something simple, she said. Quill jumped eagerly to the page, ready to create. Maya thought for a moment, then smiled. How about a friendly dog? The pen began to write, its lines flowing smoothly. A moment later, a fluffy golden retriever emerged from the paper. It wagged its tail, barking happily as it ran circles around her. Maya laughed, reaching down to pet its soft fur. This is amazing, she said, her heart soaring. The dog licked her hand, its tongue warm and wet. Quill scribbled on the paper. Good start. Now what's next? Maya grinned. Oh, I have so many ideas. But as she reached for another sheet, a thought crossed her mind. What happens to them when I stop writing? The pen paused, then wrote carefully. They returned to the story, safe and sound. Maya felt a wave of relief wash over her. Okay, then let's make something else, she said, her excitement renewed. Maya's imagination ran wild as she thought of her next creation. She picked up a fresh sheet of paper and stared at it, her mind buzzing with possibilities. What if we make a magical forest? She suggested, looking at Quill. The pen jumped up and down, eager to begin. Lines started forming on the page, curling into trees with twisting branches. Leaves sprouted from the sketch, shimmering with hints of gold and silver. Flowers bloomed, their petals glowing faintly, and a stream began to ripple. Maya watched in awe as the drawing expanded beyond the edges of the paper. The room filled with the scent of wildflowers and the sound of rustling leaves. A gentle breeze brushed her face, and she could hear birds chirping somewhere nearby. The forest seemed alive, its magic spilling into her reality. This is unbelievable, Maya whispered, stepping closer to the glowing scene. She reached out a hand, hesitating for a moment before touching the edge of the paper. To her amazement, her fingers passed through as if the page were a window. Quill scribbled, "You can step inside." Go on. Maya's heart pounded. Inside? Are you serious? The pen twirled as if to say, trust me. Taking a deep breath, Maya stepped forward, her foot crossing the threshold. The moment she did, she found herself standing on soft, mossy ground. The air was cool and fresh, and the trees towered above her, their leaves glittering. This is incredible, she said, spinning in place to take it all in. Quill floated beside her, writing in mid-air. Every story is a world. You're in yours now. Maya grinned, excitement bubbling in her chest. So, what happens here? She asked. The pen hesitated before writing. That's up to you. You're the storyteller. Maya's eyes widened. Me? But I don't know what to do. Quill scribbled. Start with something small. Let the story unfold. She thought for a moment, then smiled. Okay, let's meet someone here. The pen zipped back to the paper still lying on her desk. It began to draw, and moments later, a figure emerged from the forest. A small, fox-like creature with bright orange fur and curious eyes approached her. It tilted its head, its bushy tail swishing behind it. Hello there, Maya said softly, crouching down. The creature sniffed her hand before nuzzling it, its fur warm and soft. I'll call you Ember, she decided, smiling. Quill wrote in glowing letters above them. The story is yours. Keep going. Ember darted playfully around Maya, its bright eyes sparkling with mischief. Maya laughed, feeling a connection to the lively creature. So Ember, What's out there in this forest? She asked, gesturing to the dense trees. The little fox yipped and dashed ahead, pausing to look back as if to say, "Follow me." Maya hesitated, glancing at Quill. Should I go? The pen hovered, scribbling in the air. Every step writes the story. Let it guide you. With a deep breath, she followed Ember into the heart of the magical forest. The path wound through trees that seemed to whisper secrets in the breeze. Flowers glowed softly under her feet, lighting the way. Ahead, the forest opened up to reveal a crystal-clear lake, shimmering under an unseen light. Maya gasped at the beauty of it, the water so still it reflected the sky like a mirror. Ember trotted to the edge, lapping at the water before looking back at her expectantly. Maya knelt beside the lake, dipping her fingers into the cool water. As ripples spread across the surface, images began to form in the reflection. She saw glimpses of other worlds, each one vibrant and alive. Are these other stories? She asked aloud, her voice filled with wonder. Quill hovered nearby, writing. Every story connects. Every world overlaps. Maya stared at the images, feeling the weight of those words. If these stories are connected, does that mean they affect each other? The pen paused, then wrote, Yes. Some doors should stay closed. A chill ran down her spine at the ominous warning. But how do I know which stories are safe? She asked, her voice trembling. Quill scribbled carefully. You must trust your instincts. Some stories are not meant to be told. Maya nodded, her mind racing with the implications of her power. Just then, Ember barked sharply, drawing her attention. The little fox's ears were perked, its body tense as it stared into the trees. What is it? Maya whispered, following Ember's gaze. The forest had grown unnaturally quiet, the whispers of the trees silenced. From the shadows emerged a figure, cloaked in darkness. Its shape was undefined, shifting like smoke, but its eyes burned with an eerie light. Maya froze, her heart pounding as the figure approached. Who are you? She stammered. The figure's voice echoed like a distant storm. I am the keeper of untold stories, it said, and you have crossed into Forbidden's realms. Maya stepped back, her breath quickening. I didn't mean to. I was just exploring. The figure loomed closer, its presence overwhelming. Quill darted to Maya's side, scribbling furiously. Run! The story isn't finished yet. Maya grabbed Ember and bolted, the fox clinging to her as they raced through the forest. The ground seemed to shift beneath her feet, the trees closing in around her. She could feel the figure's presence growing stronger, its shadow stretching toward her. Maya's breaths came in sharp bursts as she ran, the weight of Ember in her arms. The forest twisted around her, branches clawing at her like reaching hands. Behind her, the shadowy figure pursued, its smoky form relentless. Quill, help me, she cried, her voice shaking. The pen zipped in front of her, writing glowing words mid-air. Keep running. I'll guide you. Maya's feet pounded against the ground, following the shimmering trail of light Quill created. But the forest seemed endless, each path more tangled than the last. Her strength was fading, and she could feel the shadow drawing closer. Ember yipped sharply, squirming in her arms. Not now, Ember, Maya said, clutching the little fox tighter. But Ember wriggled free, leaping to the ground and darting ahead. Ember, wait, Maya shouted, fear gripping her. The fox turned briefly, barking as if to say, trust me. Maya hesitated for only a moment before chasing after Ember. The little creature led her to a clearing where a circle of glowing stones stood. The air here felt different, charged with energy, as if the place was alive. Quill hovered beside her, writing urgently. The stones are a safe zone. Step inside. Without thinking, Maya leapt into the circle, her heart hammering in her chest. The moment she crossed the boundary, the air shimmered, and a barrier of light formed. The shadowy figure stopped at the edge, its form writhing with frustration. "You cannot stay there forever, storyteller," it hissed, its voice cutting through the air. Maya stood her ground, trembling but defiant. "What do you want from me?" she demanded, the figure's glowing eyes fixed on her, unblinking. "You are meddling with stories that were meant to remain untold," it said. "You have awakened things that should not exist." Maya glanced at Quill, her mind racing. "I didn't mean to," she said, her voice breaking. "I didn't know." The figure's form seemed to grow darker, its voice a chilling whisper. "I will give you one chance to undo this. Return the pen and leave this world behind." Maya's grip tightened on Quill, her mind swirling with fear and confusion. "But Quill is my friend," she shouted. "I won't just give it up." The figure's laughter echoed, cold and hollow. "Then you have sealed your fate," it said, retreating into the shadows. The barrier of light dimmed, and the clearing grew eerily silent. Maya sank to her knees, clutching Quill as Ember nuzzled against her side. "What do we do now?" she whispered, tears streaming down her face. Quill floated before her, writing softly. "The story isn't over. We can still fix this." Maya wiped her tears, determination flickering in her eyes. "Then tell me what to do." "I'm ready." Maya stood, her legs shaky but her resolve firm. The glowing stones beneath her feet pulsed gently, as if responding to her determination. Quill floated beside her, scribbling. "The forest holds the answers. We must find the source." "The source of what?" Maya asked, gripping Ember protectively. "The story's imbalance." Quill's words shimmered in the air. Maya furrowed her brow. "How will we know where to go?" Quill spun in place, pointing toward the denser part of the forest. "Follow the pull of the story. You'll feel it." Maya took a deep breath, stepping out of the protective circle. The air outside felt heavier, as though the shadow's presence still lingered. Ember padded ahead, his ears alert and tail swishing cautiously. The little fox glanced back at her, as if to reassure her they weren't alone. The deeper they ventured, the darker the forest became. Vines hung like curtains, and strange whispers floated on the wind. Maya clutched Quill tighter, her heart racing. Are these other stories?" she whispered. Quill wrote, "Fragments, lost pieces of untold tales." As they moved, Maya noticed glimmers of light scattered among the trees. Each one revealed scenes: a knight fighting a dragon, a princess in a tower, a child lost in a storm. "They're beautiful," Maya said, mesmerized by the fleeting images. But something about them felt off, as if they were incomplete. Quill wrote, "They are broken. Stories left unfinished, waiting for an ending." Maya's chest tightened. "Did I cause this?" "Not entirely," Quill reassured her. "But we must restore balance before it spreads." Ahead, the forest opened into another clearing, this one vastly different. The ground was scorched, the trees twisted and lifeless. In the center stood a stone pedestal, cracked and glowing faintly. Maya approached cautiously, feeling an inexplicable pull toward it. "What is this place?" she asked, her voice hushed. Quill floated above the pedestal, writing, "The heart of the story. This is where the threads converge." Maya reached out to touch the pedestal, but Quill darted in front of her. "Wait. There is danger here." The moment Quill wrote those words, the ground trembled. From the shadows emerged the figure again, larger and more menacing than before. "You dare approach the heart?" It roared, its voice shaking the air. Maya stepped back, her hands trembling. "I just want to fix this," she shouted. The figure laughed, its form swirling like a storm. "Fix it? You've already undone what cannot be repaired." Maya clenched her fists, her fear replaced by a surge of defiance. "That's not true," she said firmly. "Every story can be rewritten." Quill gleamed brightly, its tip glowing with a golden light. "Write, Maya," it urged her. "Write the ending." Maya grabbed a paper from her pocket, her mind racing. Her hand shook as she held Quill, staring at the blank page. "What if I get it wrong?" she whispered. "Trust your heart. The story knows its path." She closed her eyes, letting the emotions flow through her. Words began to form, spilling onto the paper like a river. The shadow lunged, but light burst from Quill, pushing it back. Ember barked, standing protectively at her side. The light grew brighter with each word Maya wrote, enveloping the clearing. The pedestal glowed, its cracks sealing, and the forest around them began to heal. Flowers bloomed, the air became fresh, and the fragmented stories merged into a cohesive whole. When Maya finished the last word, the shadow let out a piercing cry. Its form dissolved, scattering into harmless wisps that vanished into the air. Maya collapsed to her knees, exhausted but victorious. Quill hovered above her, writing gently, "You did it. The story is whole again." Maya sat on the soft grass, her chest rising and falling as she caught her breath. The forest around her was alive again, the air filled with birdsong and the rustle of leaves. Ember curled up beside her, his warm fur a comforting presence. Quill floated quietly, its light now a soft golden glow. "It's over," Maya whispered, looking around at the restored clearing. The pedestal stood firm and unbroken, the heart of the forest radiating peace. Quill scribbled gently, "The story is complete for now." Maya frowned. "For now? What does that mean?" The pen hovered thoughtfully before writing. "Stories never truly end. They change, evolve, and continue." Maya nodded slowly, the weight of those words sinking in. She looked down at Quill, her heart full of gratitude. "I couldn't have done this without you," she said, her voice soft. Quill sparkled as if smiling in response. Ember yipped softly, his tail wagging as he nudged her hand. She stroked his fur, a smile spreading across her face. "You too, Ember. You're my brave little hero." The fox barked happily, bouncing around her in circles. Maya stood, brushing dirt from her jeans, and looked at the now vibrant forest. "So what happens next?" she asked, glancing at Quill. The pen wrote, "That's up to you. You are the storyteller." Maya smiled, feeling a newfound confidence blossom within her. She looked at the paper in her hand, the one that had restored the balance. The words glowed faintly, as if alive, and she tucked it safely into her bag. "This is just the beginning," she said, her voice steady. As she walked back toward the portal that led to her world, she paused to take one last look. The forest seemed to shimmer as if bidding her farewell. Quill hovered beside her, its light guiding the way. "Let's keep writing, Quill," Maya said. "There's so much more to create." The portal shimmered as she stepped through, returning her to her room. The paper on her desk still glowed faintly, the story etched in its fibers. Quill rested beside it, ready for whatever adventure awaited next. Maya smiled, feeling the magic of storytelling flowing through her veins. And so, with a magical pen in hand and endless stories in her heart, Maya knew her journey was far from over.